Good morning, learners, and welcome back from what I hope was a restful and enjoyable Thanksgiving break for you. I am excited to see you all back here. So today we're going to be using a new simulation. We're going to use this simulation all week long, and so I just wanted to take a little bit to kind of go over how the simulation works. And we'll be doing this together in our live sessions, but you can watch this video if you are not able to join us, or if it seems a little bit confusing. So I have some information here. It's important for you to read anything that is written for you in Canvas when you're working through the modules. So in this simulation, you'll be able to see several different forms of energy and the changes or transfers that can occur between them. You're also able to work with a system where you can manipulate the energy input, what goes in, observe the process of electrical energy generation, and manipulate the output, or what comes out. To use the simulation correctly, make sure we're going to be using the Systems tab, which is Energy Systems, okay? And I'll show you that in just a moment. And we will do all of our work there. And then be sure and click the Energy Symbols button. So I'm going to go ahead and launch the simulation. When you get to this landing page, just click the play button, and it'll go ahead and open it for you. So before we begin, there is an intro option. Go ahead and click Systems. That's where we'll be doing all of our work, and make sure and click the energy symbols. So the energy symbols, so we're looking at the forms of energy, and then what this does is it's going to change the color. So if I have mechanical energy, I'll see this gray box E. Electrical energy will be blue, thermal red, light will be yellow, and chemical will be green. Okay, so today, Monday, is all about just exploring and getting excited about this simulation and seeing all the different things it can do. And then you'll go back to today's activity and kind of record your observations. So I really want you playing around a lot with it. And so I start out, I can see it's set up to have this bicycle rider. To make the bike rider begin, the cyclist begin moving, I have to move the slider. And I can see that the green chemical energy in the rider is being transformed into mechanical energy in her moving legs. And that goes up to this is called a turbine. This will, oh, look, we got to feed that rider, okay, to keep her going. I can see that mechanical energy is traveling to the spinning turbine, and then it's being this generator is turning it into this blue box, which is electrical energy. I can see that that's traveling through this wire up to the water heater. And I can see that as it's getting electrical energy, that the water heater is getting warmer, okay? And so I can slow it down and see what happens. Oh, I see the bike rider. She's going to have to get fed again soon. I can see the amount of energy coming out of her to the turbine does slow down when I slow her speed, okay, which means my electrical energy being generated in this turbine is decreasing, and then I have less thermal energy being produced, those red E's, okay? So I want you to just play around with this today. So I can see that this bike rider works well with the turbine, okay? But when I change it to the solar panel, can see that the solar panel is not really collecting that energy, that mechanical energy. It's just going off into the air as just thermal energy being released as the heat, okay? You know, your body temperature increases. You can see she's sweating. But it doesn't really do anything with solar panels. So when I am generating mechanical energy on a bike, it doesn't really work with a solar panel. That's going to be important for today's activity. I want you to test these things out. So I see that the bike rider works with a turbine, but not with a solar panel. I'm going to try out water. To turn the water on, I pull out the knob, okay, and see what happens. So I have mechanical energy of moving water hitting this solar panel, and absolutely nothing is happening, okay? I have a few little E's that might escape from the leftover energy from earlier, okay? You might always want to just reset, okay? And then that gets rid of any leftover energy from the previous choice that you were looking at. I'm going to change this now to, this is a turbine, the spinning water wheel, so a turbine, and see what begins to happen as water is spinning the turbine. I'm going to go ahead and turn on, make sure my energy symbols are turned on so I can see that energy. Do you see the difference there? When I forget to click it, Okay, I don't really see much of what's going on. I see things happening. I see a spinning wheel. I see steam rising, but it's not showing me the energy that's being generated. So here I can see mechanical energy of the flowing water is spinning the turbine, which is also mechanical energy. And that is being generated or going to the generator and being changed into electrical energy flowing through the wire, going up to the water heater, which is now heating up. And I can see that thermal energy is being released, okay, from the water heater. As I increase the flow of water, I have more mechanical energy being released. I see that the wheel is spinning faster. And I also see that my electrical output, the electricity being generated in the generator, has now increased. I would expect also that that thermal energy is going to continue to increase as well. Watch carefully because you might see occasionally. So, the water heater is, releasing mostly thermal energy, but occasionally I might see some mechanical energy popping out from there. That is a possibility. Okay, so I want you then to switch to solar and test it out. So once I switch to solar, I see that my wheel stops spinning entirely. So I can conclude that probably the sun, the solar energy, and the turbine, the spinning wheel, don't really work well together. Let's see what happens when I switch it over to a solar panel. I can see that the sun is releasing lots of light energy, these yellow E's. Some of it is hitting that solar panel. And as they're going down into the generator being changed into the blue electrical energy. And eventually I can see that the water is beginning to increase in temperature and release some thermal energy. But when I have the turbine, my wheel stops spinning and I'm not producing any more electrical energy. I'm going to try out the kettle, increase that temperature. Oh, okay. I'm not going to give you any more answers on that one. So I'm just going to stop there and let you explore it. I also want you to explore the different kinds of outputs. So once I get my solar panel working, I know that it works. I saw already it works with a water heater. Does it work with a incandescent light bulb? Does it work with a CFL or a fluorescent light bulb? Does it work with a fan to make a fan work? And once I get my turbine working, does the turbine, when the turbine is spinning, will it make the fan work? Will it make the light bulbs work? Will it make the water heater work? I want you to test all that out. What does a turbine work with? What does a working solar panel work with to make electricity? Okay, so on the activity for today, you're going to be completing some tables. So the first page, okay, I want after you explore, and you can go back to it if you need to. Tell me, which energy sources cause the turbine to spin and generate electrical energy? Did the bicycle make the turbine spin? Did the running water make the turbine spin? Did the sunlight make the turbine spin? Sorry, I am loading at the moment. It's taking just a little bit. Did the steam from a kettle make the turbine spin? And then, which energy sources cause the solar panels to generate electrical energy? Did the bicycle do that? Did the running water do that? Did the sunlight do that? Did the steam from a kettle do that? Anything that made the solar panel generate electricity, I want to put a green check mark in the box. Anything that made the turbine spin, I want to put a green check mark in the box. After I do the energy sources, then the output. I want you to think about which energy output objects work with a turbine. So if I have a turbine, which is this, when I have the turbine going and it's working, okay, the turbine's actually going, which output objects does it work with? I'm going to put a check mark in every box that works with the turbine. Then the solar panels. Let's go back. When I have the solar panel working correctly, which one of the output objects, or is it all of them, does it work with to make them work? And I'll put a check mark in every box that the solar panel works with. On the next slide, I want you to, we're going to look at how changing the amount of energy input changes what we get, the output. So when I turn the faucet on high, what happens to the amount of energy I get? When I have it on low, what happens? I want you to describe it as a lot or a little. When there are no clouds and you're using the solar panel, what happens? Do you get a lot or a little energy? What about when there's a lot of clouds? What about when there's low heat on the kettle or high heat? And then finally, tell me, why do we have to stop and feed that cyclist? When she's using up the energy, why does that feed me button pop up? And then on the last slide, I want you to think about the symbols, okay? Riding a bike is an example of what form of energy. So you have a word bank: light, radiant, nuclear, thermal, mechanical, electrical, chemical. For radiant, okay, radiant light, we can sometimes use interchangeably. Light is a type of radiant energy, okay? You can use the words more than once, okay? And there are some words you may not use at all. Okay, so you don't have to use all the words, and then some of them you can use more than once. You just choose the word that best completes each blank and fill that in. Okay, so again, today is all about exploring all the options with this PHET simulator, because we're going to be using it quite a bit this week in our learning. And so I want you to have a lot of experience with it, and you'll be collecting all of your observations today on this slideshow to turn in. I hope you enjoy it. See you later.